Welcome to Real Talk Wrestling. I'm your host, Josh. With me, Chris Koffler, the newlywed himself. He is back in action, back at home, watching some wrestling. We actually were talking pre-show about how we had to finish it today because not much of a notable show last night. Not much happened.
No, not a whole lot. And I think for two reasons. I actually fell asleep pretty early in the show, maybe because part of it wasn't as notable, and also coming down off the adrenaline high of this weekend.
Adrenaline, huh? Cody Rhodes? Adrenaline in my soul. Something, Cody Rhodes.
Side note for our listeners out there, I did have Shawn Michaels' theme song playing at my wedding. I just would like everyone to know that. The video's online.
He played Shawn Michaels. Amazing. I was confused and surprised and happy at the same time because I'm like, first off, I'm like, where the hell's Big Show? Oh, okay, this makes sense. This makes 1,000% sense. Yes, there he is.
And he didn't. I don't know if I told you, he did not get to know that until the song hit. That's when he found out. Okay, yep. That's when he found out.
That was a good. None of us. We were all shocked. But anyway, it was.
I wanted to grab everyone's attention there.
I want to say this as a great predictor of things. Predictions. I'm really good at making predictions. The whole thing was my dental surgery and what is going to be available for to eat. And we showed up at 3:30. We met some friends, Davey and Jenna, kind of camped out with them for a little bit. And we were having a debate or a guess of what is going to be served for dinner. Okay. Jenna wanted a chicken with a potato and a vegetable. That's what Jenna was aiming for. Davey was aiming more towards like the traditional same thing. And I said, guys, if it's not pulled pork, I'm not eating because I don't think I can. Because pulled pork is really soft enough for me to like somewhat get into that thing. And they're like, it's not going to be pulled pork. That's too, like, Koffler wouldn't go for that. I'm like, okay, my wedding, I had pulled pork. Mitch's wedding, my buddy Mitch, he had pulled pork. Chris is one of my dogs. He's having pulled pork. Trust me, guys. Trust me. So while y'all were taking your photos, your hour-long photos, everything just was taking forever. Me and Dave were all like looking up the people setting it up, and the first thing they do is put the barbecue sauce, red sauce, like a white sauce on the table. That's the first thing we see out there. And I said, Davey, barbecue sauce. I fucking called it because I'm so good at predictions. And Davey's like, no, that could be like, like barbecue chicken or something. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm smelling the mac and cheese. Just want to let everyone know I'm smelling the coleslaw because coleslaw is disgusting. But I was right again. My predictions go beyond professional wrestling. They go beyond fantasy. They go beyond everything. They go to food. Anything you want me to predict. Food at weddings. I just, it's not a prediction. It's a spoiler, guys. I knew it. And thanks, Chris. It was awesome.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it and glad you were able to predict it. Side note, there was supposed to be collard greens there instead of coleslaw. We messed up on that one, which I wish you guys could have tried it because I'm not a collard greens guy, but that place has the best collard greens I've ever had in my life, and I don't typically eat them at all.
Well,
so coleslaw. Now you have to go back at some point and go try them.
Coleslaw. Anyway, let's move on from coleslaw. You know what's like coleslaw? You know what coleslaw is to me? Lance Archer. I just want to say he's like a mix of everything. He can do flips. He can do monster moves. He can job out. Like, he is the ultimate coleslaw. Just everything thrown in together.
He can crush jobbers.
And he can be jobbed.
He is the coleslaw wrestler.
Like, he really, really is. He's just everything you don't like just thrown into one. God dang it. I don't know why we saw him last night. I know we're not going to have a whole segment on Lance Archer, but what a freaking waste of time.
I rewatched that. That was like the last thing I did before we started was I rewatched that match. And Miranda, she asked me, she goes, you fell asleep? She's like, weren't you awake for this or did you fall asleep? I'm like, I don't really remember. I'm just rewatching this because I vaguely remember that he was there. I'm trying to figure out why was he there. And I rewatched it and I still have the same question. Why was he there?
And why did he beat up Nick Jackson?
Nick Jackson's doppelganger?
Dude, whenever I saw it, because I was kind of dozing off the second time I tried to watch it, and man, I saw Lance Archer kick this guy with blonde hair and a headband on and with some pants. I'm like, why is he beating up Nick Jackson? What did they do? I thought it was Nick Jackson, for
so did I. So did I. Last night when I was watching it, I'm like, wow, that's weird. Nick Jackson's jobbing out the Lance Archer.
But then I thought in my head for that split seconds, oh wait, they have the ROH trios title, so he must be some part. He's an ROH loser, so he must be part of some ROH trio that they want. That's in my mind. That's what I thought. I'm like, oh shit, we're about to have a Lance Archer Nick Jackson match, but I was wrong. We had a jobber versus jobber match.
Yep.
What are we doing with Andrade, Miro, Thunder Rosa? Why couldn't they get a match? Like that's where I kind of wanted to get to the mid card. Spoiler alert, guys, we're talking about the mid card right now, so I want to bring it up right off the top. I'm seeing matches like Lance Archer against some jobber. I'm seeing just nonsense, just things that on Twitter today. Collision, Tony Khan. Tony Khan, don't come at me. I know you're going crazy right now. I know you're attacking us fans right now because we're questioning some of your motives and some of your moves. But why do we have a Jeff Jarrett versus Eddie Kingston fatal, like fucking just Texas death on Collision? Why? I don't even know what it is. I know it's a special gimmick match, and it's Jeff Jarrett versus Eddie Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
It's just mid card mix up. That's what he does. He's like, okay, Eddie Kingston, I haven't used him in a week. Jeff Jarrett, he's always gives me a good match. You guys want to have like a death match? Cool. Like, there's no direction. There's no reason why. It just seems like a bunch of nonsense, and that's what I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to figure it out because the opening match was Penta versus your top heel right now. One of the guys going for the the championship, Jay White. And I'm like, why? What is the point of this? What is the entire point of this entire 15 minutes I'm watching? Can someone explain it to me?
That was just for that one in particular. Now, I don't have an answer for most of these. That one in particular was just to get Jay White out there so they could further their story with MJF. Probably Penta just because they thought he could put on a good match. But to some of those other ones, I think that's a good point because I don't see a point to a lot of it. He said it seems like a random grab bag. Who's available? Listen, this was acceptable during COVID. Whenever you had a very limited number of wrestlers available and things were changing at the last minute, and we accepted it back then, right? We're just going to enjoy wrestling. We're just glad that it's even on at this point. But like now in 2023, like the company that's been good at telling long stories and things, and now I don't know where a lot of them are going. Yeah, the Miro, what is he up to? Andrade. Thunder Rosa, I don't know. Has she even been back yet? Because like I saw she knocked on the door and I have not seen her since.
Tony has locked her. Britt, it was a trap. Britt was back there. Britt has her in a cage. She's never getting out. You know what? It might be the whole Harry Potter situation where they shrink him down and put him in that little chest. And there's a bunch of chests. If you Harry Potter nerds know what I'm talking about, the guy with the weird eye got stuck in there.
Mm-hmm,
she might just be locked up. She might. Who knows? At this point, I don't know. She came back, knocked on the door. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that's what I asked for. As people criticize, and well deserved, the empty stadiums, the empty arenas, the empty everything, bingo halls, whatever you want to call them these days, whatever they're wrestling out of. It's a fact that half of them are not even close to be like 2,000, 3,000 fans. We've seen the pictures of Edge multiple times where he's just not even facing a hard cam because he doesn't want to talk into just seats. He just doesn't want to do it. He'd rather just talk to the crowd.
Yeah.
And why is this happening? We're losing interest because I'm sorry, if I see Penta and Jay White, although they are great athletes and they could put on a good match, I start folding laundry. I start doing other things because why are they? I watch wrestling for why. And I want to know why. Of course, to get two people on and to get Jay White an easy win. It could have been something different. It could have been something from MJF's past. Someone that is somewhat associated with MJF. Not Penta, which made literally 0 sense. And that's what I'm just upset because we're lacking stories, like you said. The long-term storytelling was there. And now, since Cody left, let's just be honest, it's not there anymore.
Yeah, it's not quite as good as it was. We've had a couple decent stories, but they've not been as good as when Cody was there. And I don't know. And that's probably why the empty arenas are there, because people are saying, oh, yeah, it's there. It's Wednesday night. Do we want to go? We could go or we could not go. take it or leave it. But if we could get more stories going for the people that aren't in some sort of a title hunt, then that would draw a lot more interest, I think, to where it becomes more must see TV. Because right now it just isn't. It's just kind of, you're just watching it to kind of keep up, kind of flip through it, watch it a little bit. That's why I felt like I was yesterday. Like I was watching it just enough to know what's going on for next week.
And I don't even know what's happening on Collision. I haven't watched Collision in almost a month and a half or kept up with it, to be honest with you. I don't know what's going on over there. I've seen Edge or Adam Copeland over there with empty arena seats. That was a big picture going around. Matter of fact, the night you got married, that picture was surfaced where it was like, I'm sure you've seen it, a sea of just nothingness. No,
Yeah.
and I know those are over exaggerated sometimes, but this one was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. There are stories going on. There's Christian Cage and there's Nick Wayne. The whole situation. One of the worst segments of all time. They're acting, by the way. It was pretty funny. I mean, it was funny. Whatever. The mom was so bad. The mom was incredibly bad.
Yeah.
But
Very over dramatic and everything. Yeah, it was bad.
I don't buy Nick Wayne as a heel. I just don't.
No.
I think I said on the show last week. He's just not. He's a tough guy heel. Tough guy, but he needs to be a coward heel. He needs that because he's a little bitch. Like
he's too little to be taken seriously.
Way too little. It's like, all right, dude, I didn't take Marco's stunt seriously. I'm not going to take you seriously. Yeah. All right. So anyway, in the women's division, we see Sheeta, the very next match after Jay White and Penta for zero reason. We see obviously a promo. They double down on the anti-Semitism, kind of. I know we talked about that last week, and it's a big issue. I just cannot believe they did that. And then we go to Sheeta versus Amy Sukururu. Again, they try to give you a story. They told you on a video package she was my mentor for 15 years. So you're expecting a fan base to know that's been watching this television show for 4 or 5 years and cram it into a 30-second package and want us to care about that? You know what I did during this match?
Anything else but watch it.
I didn't. Yeah, I went downstairs and I put my clock on my phone for 20 minutes. And whenever, because I was doing stuff, sweeping the floor, whatever, just doing chores. And once that 20 minutes came up, I came back up and I'm like, cool, I missed it. Sheeta won. I guarantee you they didn't give the title to Amy Shukararu or whatever her name is. No. What are we doing? Where's the story? She wins the title, loses it, wins the title. I think Tony sees professional wrestling as matches. And I don't think he has the time or the patience or anything to actually create a real, like booking a show. Anyone can take wrestler A, wrestler B, have a match. He's not booking a show. When he wins Booker of the Year and he calls Shawn Michaels, oh, you blew your shot to win Booker of the Year. You're not booking a show. You're just putting matches together. You're not really booking a show as in writing this, doing this, you're doing that. He's just saying, okay, you and you fight. Producer Arn Anderson, figure out the match. That's what he does.
Yeah. And I think it's hard right now to take Sheeta seriously because what they've taught us about her is that she's just a transitional champ. So right now I'm almost like sitting back waiting, like who is taking the title and when between now and the end of the year, and definitely by the end of January, probably.
It's going to be Mercedes.
I mean, that's what we're thinking. It's what it's looking like. But I think so. It just makes you think at this point right now, and plus there really wasn't much. There was no build for her getting the title back.
I didn't. Nobody expected it. Yeah. I kind of expected it when we went and we saw it live in Tampa.
When she lost her title?
When she won the title. She won the title in front of us.
Oh, you're talking about when she won it the first time, or I guess the second time, but
yeah, the second time when she won it with us. I didn't expect it, but I'm like, okay, I can see this happening. Because it's a big show. We haven't seen anything crazy. Usually he does titles. He books for reactions in moments rather than booking for sense. Like, hey, why did Paige win your title in Wembley Stadium? Oh, because she's from there. That's it. That's the only reason. Let her have it for a couple months or a week or whatever it was. Let her have some matches and then drop it to Sheeta, who can actually wrestle,
Right back to Sheeta.
and then she could lose it to Mercedes when she comes in. And then where do we go? Mercedes holds it and has like 5 open challenges in a row. No, she's not going to do that.
No.
She's not going to wrestle weekly. She's too big for that. Well, she's like an MJF doesn't wrestle weekly, you know.
Yeah.
It just Kenny Omega doesn't wrestle weekly. We got a fantastic match with Kenny Omega tonight, but at least that made sense. At least that mid card match made sense. There was a reason. The Australian guy who's dating Sky Blue is very embarrassed that he lost, and Don Callis called him out. So in return, he's going to redeem himself for fighting Kenny Omega. At least that made sense.
Yep.
Probably made sense because Jericho's involved, because Kenny Omega's involved, and the Elite are involved, and they all have these ideas. Don Callis. I think that's what's going on. Too many people, like, in their own world. Like, have we seen Kenny Omega and the Bucks ever in the Elite ever go outside of their little bubble and wrestle someone outside of their bubble?
No, not really. They stick with their tag team and their trio stuff.
And it's always like the best friends or the Penta or FTR, or it's never like, oh, they're going to go wrestle. Finally, Hangman's wrestling Swerve, right? Like something different.
Yep.
The Dark Order, like it's always the same people over and over and over. We're not seeing the Bucks over there. Bullet Club Gold, Adam Cole, same fucking people. Like they're all in the same group. Like they're never going to mix match with Andrade or Miro. Why? That'd be cool. That'd be something we'd want. That'd be different.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I'm just really upset because I feel like I was wasted 2 hours of my time. And I'm sure you feel the same.
Yeah, from last night's show, yeah, absolutely. There was just outside of one thing, which we'll get to later. There was really nothing notable on the show.
No, like there was no. I mean, I guess there was some. We got an explanation of why Will Hobbs hates Jericho. 25 years ago. Did you see that promo?
Yeah.
I was sitting in the front row. Damn, I wish I could sit in the front row. I was sitting in the front row. And he told me to sit down. Yeah, because he was probably a heel, you fucking idiot. He was probably a heel at the time.
Yeah.
That's what he's supposed to do. You're in the business, Hobbs. Now you're doing the same thing to other people.
Exactly.
So,
but that's why he turned heel, and that's why he's so angry, though.
Because a heel yelled at him, so now he wants to be a heel. So I guess it's a good reason. I mean, I'm okay with that. It's a
long-term booking. That's 25-year booking right there.
I just wish they would have said this. I want Chris Jericho, you're my hero. Instead of bringing, like, I went to one of your book signings, and I didn't have enough money to buy your book, but I wanted to see you anyway, but you told me no. And I'll tell you why I say that, because it's a true story. He was at the Brandon Mall, and I didn't want to buy a stupid book, but he was at the bar. He was not at the Barnes and Nobles. He was at the newish one. Yes, Books a Million. He was in there. And I actually didn't even know he was going to be signing there. I was just at the mall. And then I see a bunch of wrestling people. I'm like, what's going on? Oh, Jericho's signing for his book. I'm like, okay, cool. I walk in. I go, hey, man, like, how much for an autograph? Or can I meet you? Not to him, but like this, the handlers. Oh, you got to buy a book. So I have to buy a book. Yeah, they're over there. If you buy a book, he'll sign it for you. I'm cool. I don't want to do that. I mean, I guess it makes sense now that I was younger, but now that I'm older. But bring it back to that. Bring it to the outside world, not to the wrestling world where he was a fucking heel 90% of his career.
Yeah.
I don't know. Make it more personal to me. But I'm into it. I like it. I don't know where Sammy Guevara's been. I think he's hurt.
Is he hurt? No, Tay might be about to have their baby, is what I thought, because she was looking like she was almost ready the last few weeks ago when we saw her. So I imagine he's basically on paternity leave at this point, I would think. That way she doesn't have to travel around. He doesn't have to be at the wrong side of the U.S. whenever she is going to have it, because I don't know where they're based out of. Are they out of Florida? Are they somewhere else? I don't really know.
I think they're California people.
Are they?
I think they're West Coast people.
So at least now he can be close to her. That's where I assumed he went for the time being, and is going to be gone for probably another month or so.
Yeah, I miss Sammy. But yeah, I mean, other than that story, the Don Callis Jericho story, and then the MJF story, which we're going to get into right now, not really much going on. But MJF, there's a lot going on.
Yes. It's like half the roster is tied to MJF right now.
But shouldn't they be? Like, so for example, for example, the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the Super Bowl champion. Everyone wants to take down the Chiefs. Everyone
Mhm.
wants a piece of the Chiefs, right? But you sit there and you have wrestling, and it's like, oh, Shinsuke Nakamura in WWE. He's the only one going for the title. Why? Why shouldn't everyone say, no, I want the title shot? No, I want the title shot. Like they should all want the one thing, and that's MJF and his title. So I like this. I like how everyone's kind of getting into it. It's really interesting.
Yeah, because looking at it based off last night's episode, so we have MJF. He's got right now. It seems like his main story is with Bullet Club Gold, Jay White, and then he's got Juice Robinson. That stuff going on there. He's still some story going with Adam Cole. That one's kind of been put on the back burner a little bit, but it's still there. They still mention each other's names. By extension, you got the Roderick Strong stuff that who is fighting with MJF for attention, Adam Cole's attention, right? And then we've seen the stuff from Twitter with Max Caster spill over into a story, or at least a little bit of a story. It's getting integrated in. And then we had last night, out of left field, comes Warlow in a squash match, beats someone up, and they ask, what is he doing back or whatever? And he shows his wrist, and he wrote MJF on it, which got, did you notice that got zero crowd pop reaction,
We
anything?
already knew. That's been
Yeah.
going around for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like it. They did it like a big reveal, though. Like we were all supposed to be shocked.
Yeah.
And then lastly, in the backstage segment after that, they had Kenny Omega getting an interview, and MJF comes up and interrupts the interview and to shake his hand, and then pulls him in and tells him 13 days. So it's like he's got something going on with a lot of people, which, like you, I was thinking about that. I like that too, because everybody should be going after the champion. And this brings attention back to your main championship because everyone's got beef with him right now, which, that all kind of got put to the side. The main belt got put to the side whenever he went on this tag team title run. Granted, that was good. What this tag team title run with Adam Cole kind of pushed his belt to the side where we hadn't really heard about it. It kind of disappeared a little bit. So I like that everyone's drawing their attention back to him because I'd like to see a really strong focus on the AEW title to finish out the year.
Yes, and don't forget Samoa Joe also made some comments 2 weeks ago about how he's not finished with MJF. So that just adds another person to the mix. It's how it should be. It really is. We're gonna see MJF wrestle next week, I believe, on Dynamite, which they changed the rules on the stupid ring tournament battle royal. They changed the rules. Did you notice it? Did anyone notice?
No, I
did anyone
didn't.
care?
What rule did they change?
It used to be, even when MJF was the ring holder, the person with the ring still has to go in the battle royal, and you still have to finish in the top two. And once the top two people are finished, it stops and they wrestle for it next week.
Yes,
That
that's
used
right.
to
I
be the
remember
whole
that
thing.
now.
This is the first year ever where they actually did to completion, and then now they have to wrestle MJF for the title or for the ring. That's not how it's been. And Tony Khan's such a traditionalist and likes to repeat things and do things the same. This is bullshit. This should be. I hate the ring. I think it's a stupid idea. I think it's a stupid thing. Go away. You had Gold Dust in there. You had Fat Daddy Mac. You had Daniel Garcia, who's at least respectable, kind of used to be. Now you had Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy. You had bums of the bums in this thing, and Juice Robinson and Max Caster, who said, "I'm going to go in there and win it for you, Max," because he wants to be friends with MJF. So he's pretty much the Timu version of Adam Cole and MJF. MJF just like, go away, whatever, yada yada yada, boundaries, and Max like, come on, man. So we have this match. We're like, okay, who's in it? Who's in it? Oh shit, the only two people that got entrances. Okay, well, Goldust got one. And then I'm like, okay, it's gonna be Juice and it's gonna be Max Caster, and Juice is gonna win.
Yep.
Oh, guess what happened? I am so shocked. If you're gonna make this thing a huge deal, put some better people in there. Put some wrestlers that you think are gonna maybe possibly win. Where's Malachi Black? Where's Brody King? Shouldn't they be wanting this diamond?
Aren't they? I think they're mostly on Saturday nights. That's probably why we haven't seen them as much since we haven't been keeping up with Saturday nights. But I think he said a while back he wants to stay on Saturday nights.
Okay, that's totally fair. I get it.
But
Whereas
I get
Adam
what
Cole,
you're saying to put more than the bottom card jobbers.
like bottom of the barrel, like Brian Pillman Jr. bottom, like 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 AEW Dark bottom. There's no point. Just go, if you want to have it, just go. Okay, you know what? Skip it. Put Juice and Max in. You guys have a match, and the winner can face off if against MJF. I mean, it'd be more interesting. I'd rather watch a 20-minute match with those guys than the nonsense we just watched.
Yeah.
But anyway, about that. So now we have Juice Robinson against MJF, which is another feud on its own. Like it's a feud within a feud. Because he's the one who actually made it personal. He's the one who actually went over the top, storyline and real life wise. Does Juice win this diamond ring, or does MJF retain it? Like it's a heel thing. Heels have the ring to cheat or to brag about it. Baby faces don't really win that stuff.
Yeah, and also remember they stole his belt for a while and were holding that over his head like, we got your belt. And so I could see Juice maybe being the first person that isn't MJF to hold this thing, to hold it over him. Hey, we've got your belt. Hey, look, we've got your ring. Like, we've just got everything that's yours. We're taking everything away from you, stripping you down, getting you, down to nothing, to where everything you hold near and dear is just gone. So I could see possibly Juice being the first person to win it that isn't named MJF.
Do we see the Devil come out and help MJF win this match? Because we haven't seen the Devil since that night. And it's been referenced here and there, but not really brought up. It's not really down our throats of like, who's behind the mask? They're not bringing it up like that. They're just like, do we see it? Because when MJF wrestles, it's on free television and it's special. So they have to do some sort of angle. Maybe the Devil reveals himself, or maybe it forwards that storyline. I'd like to see that because we've had zero follow-up and it's almost been a month. I think MJF retains this thing because he keeps on telling people, I'm not a good guy. I'm a scumbag. I'm just trying to work out my demons. So he could still possibly win this thing, keep it as a part of his gimmick. And because what is Juice really going to do with this thing? Maybe MJF wins it, yada, 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 gets beat down at the end, whatever. Then they steal the ring. So now they have two stolen things from him that he wants back.
Yeah, that could happen too. I just see them walking out of the arena with it one way or another, whether they win it officially or unofficially. I see them tying that into taking it away from him. But do we still want MJF with that? Because was this thing always part of MJF's gimmick and that's all that it really is? It's not an actual thing that's going to be passed around. This whole thing was MJF sold it and said, hey, this is going to be part of my gimmick. We're going to have a tournament for this ring, but I'm always going to be the one that wins it because I'm going to use it to knock people out. Like it's my gimmick. So there's really no chance for anyone else to truly win this thing.
Yeah, I do like that. I do like that whole, it is MJF's gimmick, but where does it end? Until like he wins like 22 years, baby, of me in the ring. Like, where does it end? There's got to end eventually.
Exactly.
I don't think it could be his gimmick forever. And this could be the year. It's been 4 years in a row. This could be the year where we see another person like Juice Robinson, who's a good heel. He's really good. But I just don't see how this after this story, after MJF beats Jay White and they move on, they go forward, and MJF finally gets Adam Cole back. Juice with the ring. How is that ever going to make sense?
Yeah, it's not. That's the problem there. Is after the feud, there's really nothing for him no reason for him to have it.
Exactly.
It wouldn't really matter.
So yeah, that's why I'm predicting MJF to win to retain. And plus, he can't take a loss. He's the world champion. You can't take a loss to your contenders lackey. Like, Juice is a good wrestler on his own rights, but he's a secondhand man to Jay White. You're not losing to Jay White's secondhand man. That's another thing. MJF's winning this thing. He's retaining.
Okay, but does he walk out with it? Does he leave the building with it? I don't think
he does.
Okay, so he'll retain. They're going to beat him down, and they're going to take that too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
they're taking everything. And what if they take his best friend, his bro. In the end, they take his best friend. They take everything, and even
That
Adam
would be
Cole.
good. That would be like, because it got to the point where it seemed like he was valuing his friendship with Adam Cole a little more than the belt, surprisingly. Where he
And
wasn't going to
then
cheat to win because he loved his friend too much. So there you go. Take the belt, take the ring, take his friend, take everything from him.
Adam Cole reveals himself as the devil, and the whole thing of getting beat up by Jay White was all work, all set up.
Yeah.
And then MJ, because remember before Adam Cole got hurt the first time, he was in that bullet. Like it was him, Jay White. Like they were gonna go against the Elite.
Yep.
That was the story. So why would they? And Tony likes to keep things going. Doesn't matter. Hey, you're gonna beat Jade Cargill. Oh shit, you tore your ACL. Don't worry. She's gonna stand in the back with that title and say, "I'm that bitch forever until you're back, and then you'll win it."
Yep.
Like that's what he does. He just holds on to stories until they go until they do something. And I can definitely see them going, okay, Adam, you're still going to go over there with Jay White and Juice. You're going to lead the Bullet Club Gold. You're the true leader.
That gives them more tie. And we've been talking for weeks now about him possibly turning heel. And there you go. It's all setting up right there.
I just told everyone. I'm so good at predicting. Guys, I'm telling
you. It's another spoiler right there.
It really is. And when it happens, I'm going to be so upset because I'm not going to be, surprised. Because I already know. Chris, let me ask you on NXT. Did you see the Undertaker this week? This week? Oh, you didn't?
Last week? This week?
No, this week. This week.
No. Oh, I didn't even watch it again.
Did you see John Cena? Did you see John Cena on NXT this week?
Oh no, I didn't see anybody. There's nobody there.
Okay. Did you see Becky Lynch?
Nope.
I was told they only did that stuff for ratings for the deals, the contract deals with USA,
which is still going on though, right? But those people aren't there this week.
Exactly.
That's weird.
It's really weird. I thought they were using those big names to actually get more money out of the networks, not to destroy in AEW. Really weird. I just don't understand why they do it again. Unrelated. Yeah,
it's a weird coincidence.
They didn't get Jake the Snake, or they don't have Jake the Snake anymore. They couldn't get Triple H to come out and do his little spit thing. They couldn't.
Nope.
NXT was fully booked this week. Didn't need legends this week, guys. We're good.
They're good. They signed the deal. It's done. Coincidentally, it got signed after the prior Tuesday. That was it right there. That was everything they needed to see.
Yes,
they needed to see a Legends Night. A Legends Night hooked them, and they said, "Let's sign this deal now." Legends Night, heck yeah! They're going to come out and talk. Let's do it.
Yes, they're gonna come out and slowly chokeslam one of our young superstars. I'm in.
Yep.
Gosh,
I'm in.
Anyway,
ready to sign over the millions and the billions of dollars.
Did we hit all of our topics? Did we hit everything?
No. Nope. We're missing one big one. The main one.
I know. It's the retirement of Sting. Revolution 2024 will be his last match. I have no idea who it could possibly be against. I don't even know when Revolution is. It's in March, right?
March.
So it's coming up soon. So that confirms that Sting did sign a 3-year contract because that's 3 years to the date. I think this is going to be fun. I hope we see Sting not weekly, but every other week, maybe doing some kind of segment, like a farewell tour.
Yep.
Kind of like, it reminds me of it, and I hope not like this, but when back in the day when Jeter was retiring, every stadium he went to, the team had a present for him or something, or they celebrated him. I would like to see a Sting appreciation tour, like saying goodbye to everyone. And he's one of my favorite wrestlers, and I think it's great. And he should retire. And I like the fact that he sealed it. This is the end. Like, you do know it's going to be my last match.
Yep. I think this will. It's good to know. Like, obviously, we hope nothing happens between now and then, but it's kind of good to know that it's coming now. So now we can really soak it in and appreciate. Make sure that when his matches are on, we're not folding laundry or doing the dishes or off busy. Like, that's going to be a time. Okay, this is one of the last times I'm ever going to see him wrestle. So we really got to soak it in. Do you think this maybe will help them boost their ticket sale numbers a little bit?
I think so.
People
I think that's why they
now that it is the farewell tour.
I think that's why they announced it. I think that's not the main reason, but I think it's part of the reason. Who you advertise Sting in Omaha, Nebraska, and it's his last time ever there. People will go, oh
Now,
shit, I kind of want to go see Sting.
this is it. This is
So
my only chance. Now they have a reason to go.
and it's been a great career. I like this speech. His speech seemed like it was unscripted, came straight from the heart. Talked about Hogan, he got booed. Talked about Ric Flair. Talked about all the greats that he wrestled, and Lex Luger, all those guys. And gosh, man, I can't believe I grew up watching him. Potentially, if my daughters were into wrestling, they could have grew up watching him too in TNA. It's like, and he was
Yep.
just as good there. He was just as good. So that's two generations of wrestling fans that possibly, like a father and son, could have possibly had their favorite wrestler together. Like, oh, Sting
Yep.
was my favorite growing up, and the kid, like, yeah, Joker Sting in TNA was awesome. Really was. I mean, but let's be fair, nobody was watching TNA.
So, no. So, who, I know you said you don't really know, but if you had to guess, who do you think would be his final match? Is it somebody that's in AEW now? Do you think it'll be someone they're going to try and bring in down the road? Like, if you just had to guess, give us a spoiler here. Who is going to be his final match?
It's got to be, he's got to lose.
Mm-hmm. Going to put somebody over.
Everyone loses their last match. So it's got to be someone worth it. But the problem is, it's going to be someone that Tony Khan thinks is worth it. Is it going to be Nick Wayne? You know what I mean? Like, think about that. Because who's he feuding with right now? They're Darby, and they're feuding with Christian. Or is it going to be a 6-man tag match with?
No, it's got to be a one-on-one.
I don't think it is, man. He can't go one-on-one anymore. He can't do that. He's never had a one-on-one match in TNA or AEW yet.
AEW.
He can't. I don't think he can.
So maybe you're thinking then a tag team, 6-man tag. Maybe one of these. If they're going to do that, though, they need to do like another one. And I know you hate these, but those street fight ones where he could really showcase himself one last time, because it's got to be something special. It can't just be a mix standard 6-man tag where it's a 12-minute match and he's only in for 3 minutes. Like, that can't be it.
I just don't see it like one-on-one. What makes sense for him? What makes sense to help him? And everything he's been doing since day one was to elevate Darby. So I think this would have to elevate Darby as well. Will it be Darby himself?
That's what I was kind of thinking. Like, but it feels like the obvious choice. So I don't know if it's necessarily going to happen or not. But that would be right now, given everything we know with the roster or whatever, like that's the most obvious choice is Darby Allin. Because like what you said, he has been brought here to, or not brought here, but ever since he's been here, he has taken Darby under his wing. So I feel like he's the most likely one. But let me ask you this. So if you could pick, let's say he could get up and go one-on-one, or maybe you make a tag match. If you could have any active wrestlers be a part of his final match, doesn't matter the company, who would you put there? Because you've been a big WCW guy and a big Sting guy, so I think you would be able to better answer this question. Final match. Who are you putting it? Any company, like any active wrestler. Let's just say the Forbidden Door is open. Anyone that's active right now, who are you putting in a final match with him? Let's just say Endeavor says, hey, we're going to let people go over there. If that's who you pick, is someone from over there, or is it somebody in AEW, or is it somebody in TNA? Is it going to be a one-on-one? Is it going to be a tag? Is it going to be a 6-man? Who are you putting with Sting in his final match? And who is going to pin him essentially to go over?
Is it going to be a feud? Is it going to be a feud?
It's whatever you want. You're booking the last 3 months of his career leading up to, but mostly focusing on that last match. What is that last moment we see in the ring? Give us that Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair moment.
To me, and I know this doesn't make sense, and a lot of people will hate this probably, but I'm going Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
I think Cody Rhodes has the lineage. He has the story with Dusty. They could bring up some stuff from the past with Dusty and Sting that could work. And Cody Rhodes is a man he loves old school wrestling. It's like he loves it so much, and I feel like that would be great. I know it wouldn't happen, obviously, but that would be great. I think Cody Rhodes and Sting in the final match, because I think Cody's good enough to carry him and to put on a match for him to make Sting look good, and to obviously he'll go over, right? And he's doing it for his daddy or something like that. But nobody's a bad guy. It's just, Cody Rhodes versus Sting one last time. That to me is the way I like it, but obviously it's not. But
Yeah.
in AEW specifically, if I had to pick somebody from AEW specifically, I'd want someone that needs the rub, needs it, needs to go over, needs to get big, needs to get acknowledged. And right now, I'm seeing that. I really feel like, what are we doing with Cesaro? What are we doing with him? I understand that it wouldn't make sense right now, but he's pretty much the fourth person in his group, or the third. And he was in, people were crying in WWE. Why is he not in the main event? Why is this and why is that? He's never featured. Same thing is going on. He's got the tools. He's everything. He's everything that we want in a professional wrestler, except for his promo. He has no promo. But a huge win over Sting would actually make me, oh shit, they're gonna push him. It needs to be someone like that, not so young, not Nick Wayne, not someone like that, because they don't deserve it. But somebody like in that tier of a Cesaro, which I will not call him Claudio because he hasn't earned it. He's done nothing since he's been there. Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. What about you, Chris?
I would think somewhere, as far as, because it's a little harder for me to answer the anybody because I didn't follow his career as closely as you did, but maybe as far as who is a possibility in AEW, I was kind of thinking along the same lines. Not somebody that's super over already, but also not someone that's at the bottom to where it's going to do nothing for him and like it's almost going to be a waste. But what about someone that could also benefit from that push that's finally starting to get that push? And maybe this is another big feud for him down the road, but what about someone like a Swerve? And this, really put him on the map and get people to know, because I think he has been very underrated in AEW because they've always kind of had him in the mid to mid lower, card. And I think he could run with any of the best of them in the upper part of the card, be it gimmick, on the mic some, and then in-ring style. And I think that could be a huge push for him.
Yeah,
I would love to see it.
The only thing I have wrong with that is we've already seen Sting and Swerve together in a ring. We did see that. That's why I didn't go for Swerve. But yeah, one-on-one match, that would be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind that at all. And Swerve get his revenge because Swerve was the one who was put in the casket, so it makes sense for him to go, man, I want my revenge.
Yep.
Like y'all put me in this casket, I'm gonna beat your ass, Sting. And he's gonna do his stupid rap song.
Say retire him.
Yeah,
stupid rap song. I love that song.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I don't understand what's going on in it.
I don't know. It just got a good beat to it. I just like it.
No, it was just like hut. Like I don't know what he's saying. I don't know.
I don't care. I like beats. I don't really care about lyrics. So
I like beats too. But I just want to know what's the world premiere remix and what? Nana's actually getting over. I remember I hated Nana.
You did.
I like him.
You do? Okay, that's different from like a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
Well, because in this promo, which is, we're gonna leave you on that because my son's getting real restless over here.
Mm-hmm.
He talked. He looked serious. It wasn't a joke. Like when Nana's on TV, 99% of the time he's a joke. I see him like, oh wow, he's got a Walmart crown on. He looks like a clown. He's doing the stupid dance. He doesn't talk. But that promo in the dark where they were outside, wherever the fuck they were, and he was serious. And he was being pretty much like the hype man for Swerve when Swerve started talking. I'm like, this guy's, he's got it. Let's see this. No. Let's not see goofy dollar store. No. That sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah. We'll leave you at that. We'll get on out of here. Hopefully next week's episode's better. Well, the show was good. I'm talking about Dynamite. Hope that's better. I 1000% will not be watching Collision. Just no interest. Zero interest in seeing Jeff Jarrett and Eddie Kingston in a battle match. No idea. But go ahead and follow us on Twitter. I'll be making fun of it. Josh Kimmel OUS. Follow RTW Chris on Twitter as well. X marks the spot. Right. Until next week, Chris, you got anything else you want to say to these peoples?
Well, it's time to get the stories going, and it's time to gear up for Full Gear in less than a month.
Yes, it is. All right, guys, we're out of here. Peace out.
See ya.